All right, so the question is, what is it about the nutritional supplements that makes them so powerful when it comes to treating and resolving hormonal imbalances? So, whether someone has something like endometriosis, thyroid issues, PCOS, brain fog and ADD, anxiety, adrenal fatigue, insomnia, whatever the hormonal uh, end result is that someone is dealing with, um, the important thing to keep in mind is that the only thing that has happened is that the body has gotten into what we can call a loop or an unhealthy cycle of hormonal function. It doesn't mean that the body has forgotten what healthy and balanced hormonal function is. It just means that in order to adapt to some stressor, whether it's a diet that has too much carbohydrate, whether it's a schedule that is just too hectic and we're not getting enough rest, whether it's some type of bowel issues that maybe some inflammatory bowel conditions, whatever it is that the body is trying to adapt to, the hormones and the signals that the hormones are being um, uh, processed by, because that's the best term I can come up with, the signals, the signals that are guiding those hormones, right? They start to, just like we do in life, we'll start to develop some bad habits. That doesn't make us bad people. It just means we have bad habits. We can always change those habits. Our bodies are the same way. Just because right now they're in a hormonally unhealthy habitual pattern doesn't mean that our bodies have forgotten how to be in that healthy, balanced, uh, alive, vital, joyful hormonal state. Okay, so that's important to remember. So no matter how bad someone's feeling, no matter how bad things seem to be, the body has not forgotten how to make it good again. Okay, so where the supplements come in to this whole equation, and especially the way we do it at the Axelrod Clinic, is first of all, supplements are like nutritional signals. Think of it like you're going to, like if you had a, well, if you had a lighthouse, for instance, right? And the lighthouse is going to send out a certain light based on, like, okay, the, let's say the seas are calm, the seas are calm around the coast, right? So there's going to be a certain signal that the lighthouse will send out versus if the seas are really rough around the coast, maybe the lighthouse sends out a different signal. And that's how the boats that are approaching are able to know, hey, we need to like hold off and wait, or we can go ahead and go in, right? The other thing, obviously, the lighthouse does is it warns people, hey, there's rocks here, there's coastline here, so it's dark at night, it's pitch black. Make sure that you know that you're getting close to land. So, in terms of how the hormones, I mean, how the supplements work, the supplements are like signals that we're intentionally putting into our body, but they're very subtle and very natural signals, unlike pharmaceutical drugs, which tend to be much more powerful, forceful, and because they cause side effects, we know that those side effects are generated because the power of the medicine exceeds the need of the body. So it's kind of like a side effect is, in a sense, if you're going to, let's say you have a garden, right, and you have a big tree and you need to cut the tree down. You cut the whole tree down, and now all of those plants that were under the tree getting shade, they're exposed to too much sun and they dry up, or you just need to put a lot more water on them. Why? Because they no longer have that protection, right? So you did this very extreme solution by cutting the whole tree down. Instead of, you could have just trimmed the branches of the tree, right? Maybe trim the tree back a little bit and have the same net effect without harming all the other plants around the tree. That's kind of what happens when we take medications sometimes. I mean, we do often get the desired effect, the desired end result. Maybe the infection is gone, maybe the blood isn't clotting, maybe the we don't have reflux. But the issue then is that there are these side effects that are not part of what we want to be doing with the medicine. that end up being, causing other problems. With supplements, the signals that we're putting into the body, which are 100% natural, and actually, when you think about it this way too, supplements come from food, so they're just vitamins, enzymes, minerals, amino acids, and things of this nature that we use as supplements, and we're just taking concentrated amounts of them and putting them into our bodies. But those substances are like the native language of our body. Think about it this way: we are made up of enzymes, proteins, and vitamins and fats and all these different things. And so when we supplement those things that our body already innately contains, all we're doing is we're speaking the language that our body already speaks. So our body very easily understands what we're trying to get it to do. And it does those things with really no side effects whatsoever, especially if the person prescribing your supplements really knows what they're doing. You should not have any side effects at all. And if there are side effects, they're typically going to be very mild and temporary. So either way, we're dealing with a system that the supplements being much more subtle and much more easy for the body to respond to. Now, the other thing about supplements that's really cool when it comes to hormones is this: we know that certain types of tissues produce certain types of hormones, right? Thyroid tissue produces thyroid hormone. The liver produces glutathione and some other hormones that are important. The brain and the central nervous system, you can't even, tons of hormones. Prolactin, dopamine, serotonin. The gut produces serotonin. The pancreas produces insulin. We can just go on and on and on with this, right? Histamine is a hormone that the body produces, and we all know what antihistamines are. We all know that histamines are tied in with the allergic response of the body. So all these different hormones are produced by different systems. And when we know which nutrients, how those different systems and tissues interact with and respond to these different nutrients, which again, we know this, you don't have to know this. You can go study it if you want to and learn all these ins and outs, but that's our job. Our job is to know how all these different substances and nutrients interact with all these different body tissues that produce all these different hormones. When we know how that all works, it's very easy to take a very simple compound like a B complex or an essential fatty acid or a digestive enzyme or an amino acid like N-acetylcysteine, and to dose it into your body in a way that it is going to help that tissue that makes the hormone that we're trying to affect. It's going to help that tissue to function at a higher level. And it's going to help that tissue, in many cases, to repair itself and to heal itself so that it no longer is having trouble functioning and secreting the hormones that it needs to secrete, and also responding to the hormones that it needs to respond to. Because remember, hormones are like a conversation. Hormones is not just this one-way thing. Your body is having conversations using hormones. It'll secrete a hormone, for instance, TSH, which if you've had thyroid issues, you know all about the term TSH, which just means thyroid stimulating hormone. Your brain will secrete that, and it will tell the thyroid, hey, thyroid, make some more thyroid hormone because we need to make sure we keep our base metabolic rate stable. Thyroid, in a normal or healthy scenario, will go, okay, cool, gonna do it. And it starts to make more of that T4, and it starts to go out into the bloodstream, right? And then the brain is listening and it's checking the level of thyroid. This is how sophisticated our bodies are. Think about this. Think about the fact that your body, your brain, is constantly, like literally as we sit here right now, your brain is measuring the thyroid hormone in your body. It is totally aware of whether you have enough or need more or need less thyroid hormone. It's unbelievable. So is the brain receiving that signal, right? That conversation? If sometimes in some cases, depending on what the situation is, Maybe the brain isn't able to sense the thyroid levels like it normally should. And we can detect that through very simple means in the clinic. And we don't even have to use blood tests. We are very adept, and we have a complete system that we can just talk to you, get your symptoms, and build a profile off of that that is insanely accurate to predict and then to assess what's going on with your hormones and what tissues and what organs and what glands need help in your body. And then we just get busy giving those tissues the nutrients that we know those tissues really, really like and really, really need in order to function at a high level. So sometimes people with thyroid problems, it's not even that the thyroid is messed up. In fact, on another video, I was just talking about this, that actually with thyroid, in my experience, thyroid itself is almost never the problem. It's almost always something else that is messing up the thyroid. In women in particular, we have the way that the body is transporting and dealing with estrogen that can have a massively negative impact on thyroid. There's also the effects of chronic stress and sleep deprivation and other things, and how that affects the central nervous system, that it's not going to be able to manage the thyroid the right way. So what we're doing is we're using nutrients to help all of the participants in this conversation to be as strong and healthy and alert and as calm as possible. Like, you think about, you want a nice, calm and alert and receptive thyroid. You want a calm, alert, and receptive central nervous system. You want a calm, alert, and receptive pancreas, and all these different key hormonal secretors. You want those parts of your body to be calm, focused, and alert, strong, healthy, vital. And so by giving the precise nutrients that we know are going to bring that strength and that balance and that vitality back to those tissues, again, because your body never forgets how to do it the right way and how to heal itself and how to restore itself, when we start to give your body those things that help it to restore itself, it just starts to do it. We don't have to talk it into anything. We don't have to educate it or read a bunch of books to tell it what to do. Like, literally, it just starts to do it because it already knows how to do it. And it gets to work right away, which is why with our patients, we see results often within, like, we've had patients, I can't even tell you, I've had patients who've come in with cases of endometriosis where they've had years of being on birth control, doing this surgery, that surgery, trying this intervention, that intervention, and they're still having pain. Maybe it works for a little while, but it comes back. And then we start working together, and I teach them some really basic dietary things, and we use the acupuncture, which is one of the therapies we use, and we give them the supplements that are going to balance the parts of their body that are out of balance, that are causing the endometriosis to be generated in the first place. And once we do that, literally within weeks, I've even had people who within 2 or 3 days after starting on the regimen have already had 50%, 60% improvement after years of minimal improvement. Years. So that's how fast the body is able to heal itself. That's how fast the body will take care of this once it has the tools it needs. Think about it this way. If you had a master builder, that was capable of building the most beautiful house in the world, and the skill that this builder had was second to none, but you hire this builder and you're going to say, okay, I need you to build this house. And the builder, you have the blueprint there. The blueprint is there, and your body has the blueprint. It has not lost the blueprints. But what happens is then all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I can't get all the lumber I need. Like, there's just not enough lumber. So no matter how much skill this builder has, if they don't have the resources and the supplies that they need, they're not going to be able to build that beautiful house, right? But as soon as the lumber is delivered and the nails are delivered and the drywall and all the other building materials are delivered, this builder is going to be able to deliver this amazingly beautiful and well-built house. That's exactly what's going on with your body. Your body is a master builder. Your body is a master healer. And when we give it the supplies that it needs to get the job done, it doesn't waste any time. And it can be a matter of days or weeks. And again, we've had people who have had years of minimal to no progress and sometimes seeming like they're going backwards, who come to see us. We don't even run one test, although we're happy to run tests. Some people they want us to run tests, and we're happy to do it, and we can do it, but we don't have to. And a lot of times, like seriously, people will come in and after years of having every test known to man, and probably spending thousands of dollars, and then all we do is sit down and have a conversation, and then we give them a very focused number of supplements and very moderate doses, not even anything extreme, and within days they're already feeling like these huge shifts. It's a beautiful thing to witness, and it's why we do what we do. It's the reason I wake up every morning, is just to know that we're going to help someone else to get rid of that weight that they're carrying around and really start to feel like themselves again, and just enable them and empower them to live a much more happy, fruitful, purposeful, and joyful life. Because at the end of the day, when we don't feel well, it's really hard to be happy. I think people who suffer with chronic pain and this is proven, have a much higher incidence of depression, much higher incidence of all kinds of other psychiatric and psychological issues, and honestly, a much higher incidence of suicide. Because why? People start to lose hope. And having that pain and having to deal with that pain every single day can be very, very challenging. When we have these hormonal issues and we just can't seem to get over that hump, it can just feel like we're trudging through the mud every day. And just to get through the day can be a challenge. And we just look at each day and go, okay, all I got to do is just make it to the end of the day, and then we'll worry about tomorrow. That's not a great place to be living. And I've seen people who have been able to, really overcome that and start to emerge from that hormonal, I just call it hormonal hell, basically, and live pain-free and live with so much less anxiety and so much better sleep and so much more energy and so much better focus, and just really feeling good about themselves again, because now they're no longer fighting against this hormonal hell that they're living in. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness. And again, it's what I do. It's the reason I wake up in the morning. So if you would like to talk to us about finding the right supplements for you to help you become more joyful, purposeful, energetic, focused, and all those things by getting your hormonal system back into balance and back into its natural state of thriving, all you got to do is there's a link somewhere or a button somewhere. You just got to click that and request your free initial consultation. Come on in, talk to us. We'll be really honest with you about our prospects of helping you once we get the chance to hear your story and understand all the different dynamics and the history that's going on. And that's what we'll talk about at that free consultation. And if everybody feels good moving forward, you'll have the opportunity. Well, first of all, we'll also explain to you how our program works, and then you'll have the opportunity to say yes and start to let us help you. The financial side of it is very affordable and very simple. We don't require people to pay us thousands of dollars up front to work with us, and nor do we require people to lay out thousands of dollars out of pocket for all these tests, like I was saying before. Also, the protocols we use are very reasonable and very conservative. Really, we just focus on the supplements that you need. We don't give you 20 things and say, okay, something here is going to work, so just take all of them, we'll see what happens. We're very precise and we're very intentional about every single thing that we do in our clinic. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you and you're ready to see if this is a path that's going to get you back to where you want to be, again, click the link or the button, whatever's around here, and we will look forward to seeing you in the clinic. All right? See you later.